Greetings and welcome to In-Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. It is the time of year when Caribbean Women Honors and Empowerment TNT chapter, they shine light on the work of women serving Trinidad and Tobago. Now, to tell us more about it, we have Chair and Regional President of Char-we, Wendy H. Lewis, along with this year's awardees, Head of the TTPS Special Victims Unit, Superintendent Claire Guy-Alleyne, and Hummingbird Gold recipient, Personal Development Coach, Florist, mask maker, and so much more, Jacqueline Koon-How. Ladies, thank you so much for making the time. And let's start off with you, please, Ms. Lewis. Why the consistent intention on celebrating women each year?
Listen, we've come a long way. So hi to everyone. We have come a long way. There were times when we couldn't even vote. There were times when we couldn't even take up certain jobs. We have to celebrate our journey. And that is what Char-we is mandated to do, to honor and empower our women. And a lot of our women have broken glass ceilings, both of which are on this discussion right now. And it's always good to give people their flowers whilst they are alive.
And with that, let's go on to and let's say Superintendent. You know, sometimes, and especially from time to time, when people hear TTPS, start a little grumbling. But how do you feel actually being honored for your service?
I feel incredibly honored and deeply humbled to receive this award. But I'll tell you something, the real honor is really helping people. I'm really passionate towards helping persons of gender-based violence because it's my hope that one day gender-based violence could be zero. And I'm so humbled by Char-we, the group that is fondly called Char-we, for honoring persons whilst they are alive, giving them their flowers whilst they are alive. And I'm really happy.
Thank you so much. No, I'm a South boy. I know, Ms. Lewis, I think you're from Pleasantville. I'm from Gasparillo. So I feel no way saying Auntie Jackie. But let me ask, how do you feel with this honor that is being bestowed upon you?
I am so happy to be honored for what they call my life's work, but I call it my life's pleasure.
And with that though, I want to ask, how do you manage? Because I had to take a little deep breath to name out some of the things that form part of your life's pleasure. Is it that you make time for other, you have a hierarchy? So if we have these two things to do, this will get precedence. How do you manage all of these?
As a creative, I have had a great life. I indulge in everything, the carnival arts, the craft, everything you give me a chance to indulge in, I will do
it. Thank you so much for that. Ms. Lewis, how do you decide on the awardees for a specific year? Because they're, like you said, plenty glass ceilings have been shattered, plenty people doing things, plenty women doing things. But how do you decide, okay, well, in this year, in particular 2023, these are the ladies who we are going to present their flowers to?
Well, actually, we have a very long list, to be honest. And Jackie's probably hearing this for the first time. Jackie's been on the list since our second year. Jackie's name has been there. And I guess, you know, they said timing is everything. And at the end of the day, when we had Jackie's name on the list, actually up came the pandemic. So then, of course, we didn't want to have any virtual awards. And then when we had the year after, we said, hold on with Jackie. Hold on with Jackie. And we can't say why we held on with Jackie until the night, but we decided as a board to hold on with Jackie. So then we had those honorees. And one of the things that make us decide, and it's unanimous, we've never had a case of, okay, let's vote. Because one saying go this way, the other saying go the next way. Whenever the nominations happen, it's unanimous. Jackie's from South. I've known Jackie all my life, literally from school go right up, to be honest. And Jackie has been doing so much. And we didn't want to clash with the Hummingbird Gold either. We didn't want to clash. We wanted her have your spotlight with your hummingbird, enjoy your hummingbird flowers. So we held on Jackie. With Superintendent Claire Guy-Alleyne, interestingly enough, When the pandemic hit is when domestic violence increased, to be honest. And we decided we cannot sit dormant during the pandemic. And we started 16 days of activism online. And I would have been in contact with the Honorable Ayanna Webster Roy. And I'm like, I need somebody from the police service who can assist us with some of our questions. And so the contact was made. When Superintendent Claire Guy-Alleyne started working with the NGO, it was virtual for over a year, over an entire year. We never met face to face. It was at an event at the office of the PM with the Honorable Minister. We were like, but hang on, we've never physically met because we were like talking often. We get a phone call to help somebody. I will wake her up literally with no remorse because I got woken up as well. So I'd be like, so sorry to wake you up, but she's like, go ahead, Miss Lewis, da, 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 da. And she will put me in the right direction, point me in the right direction. Because at the time, we knew of the installation of the gender-based violence units, but I wasn't aware that they weren't at every station. So much education and information has been poured into people via the NGO because of Superintendent. And it's never a moment where we don't get a response, we don't get the assistance. We would have been introduced to the victim and witness support unit. And then we said, but hang on a minute, this one individual representing these three organizations has been like the master key to us solving so many problems that we've been faced with in the NGO. You know what? Let's give her flowers. Well, we didn't get any objection. We're like, well, okay, we have our two. And interestingly enough, we normally try to do one from Trinidad, one from Tobago. When we decided on Superintendent and Jackie, we were like, well, this is the first year. We humbly apologize, Tobago, but these are the two we are going with. Only to realize that Superintendent was actually from Tobago. So when we honored that, we weren't aware. So I'm like, you see how everything fall into place. We have a Southie, and yes, we bias with South, and we have a Tobago girl, as they say. So it's always unanimous. We've never ever had an issue with, no, how about this one? Let's switch. And it's because of the human service to Trinidad and Tobago. They've been doing a lot, both have been doing a lot for our women and our girls.
And speaking about that human service, and I saw you nodding like if there was a collection plate, I think you would have get a little nice change in it just now, Superintendent. But saying that your passion is dealing or helping to mitigate or address gender-based violence is one thing. But being at the helm of this umbrella organization that has these three units under it and having that level of responsibility, how does your passion translate into the implementation of this?
Well, one thing you have to do, you have to lead from the front, eh? So you kind of mirror the way for the persons who are under your command to understand, and you keep meetings, you meet with the understaff very regularly. You also, training is critical as well. So I would recommend training to the Commissioner of Police. The officers are exposed to training both locally and internationally as well. And to be doing this kind of work, there is no time. So you have to be passionate in order to do this kind of work, and you cannot sign off. You have to be available. So sometimes Wendy will call and she would apologize. A lot of persons do that. I said, don't worry, let's get to work. Let's get to work. You know, because there is somebody to save, there is somebody to be empowered, there's somebody who doesn't know how to navigate this way, and we have work to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And I like the fact that you say sometimes people may think it is just this, but just this can be so much more. And like one of the things that also come to mind when you're talking about in terms of training and building capacity, because I can imagine the way that somebody treats with you when what you have is a burning issue, and the way somebody treats can make all the difference in the world. Just the same way as the way all the time spent to cook the nice plate of food, and then the person on your head, that turn you off, it give you indigestion. But in terms of looking at that one small thing and how it translates, I want to talk to you, please, and accordingly, yes, Auntie Jackie, because sometimes people think that beauty is just beauty. It is surface level. What are some of those lessons that you have imparted within people who have come to you so that they are able to take some of those lessons and translate to something that may be off stage in a different aspect of life, and possibly at the time they didn't even realize, but wait, no, I get in training for this as well?
Well, the first thing, the very first thing I tell my young ladies and my young men is that our definition, my definition of a model is one who others want to emulate. My definition of a model is definitely not somebody who just walks down a runway. You must be the first one, the best one, the one everybody wants to be like. For example, when you get the model car, it's the first one, and everybody wants to buy one just like that. So you must be like that, like what you are present. But everybody wants to be like you. Yes, and so you are a model. Not necessarily on the runway, but you are a model too. So that is what I always impart. That is what I always try to train and let my young people know.
And it's interesting you say that, and thank you for that, because one thing that I have learned eventually about, and we're just using like the model vehicles as a specific example, many times they make that better too. There's a way they last longer in terms of everything has to be perfect, because like you said, you're making it because you want people to hold this up and say, okay, well, this is the standard and we want something like that. But we continue the conversation when we return. We are talking about Char-we and the awards for 2023, and we're going to get into some of the logistics of it when we return. Stay with us. We come back with more. Welcome back. We are speaking with awardees of a Char-we Award Ceremony 2023, as well as the Chair and Regional President, Wendy H. Lewis. And Ms. Lewis, we didn't start to talk about the logistics of the thing of this iteration as yet, you know. So I guess we should do that. Give us some idea what is happening or when it's happening and how people can be a part of it, to see these two ladies, these two women broken. Yes. These two models, these two, the superlatives and descriptors can go on. So let me just ask you to continue from here first.
Sure. So Char-we, we are having our awards on the 11th of November at Achievers Banqueting Hall, 2 Addis Drive, Duncan Village in San Fernando. We start promptly at 6, so we're asking everyone, excluding the dignitaries, to be seated by 5:30 p.m. to make way for what we call the ceremonial arrival of the dignitaries, which includes the honorees, the Honorable Ayana Webster Roy, His Worship the Mayor of San Fernando, Councillor Robert Paris. We have some other dignitaries as well, so we wouldn't let everything out the bag. So we have that ceremonial arrival that we're known for. People enjoy the little red carpet, you know, the media will be present, etc. And they'll be seated accordingly. We can't tell you much more about that bit because it's a surprise for the both of them as well. So we're looking forward to having so many people have called and expressed interest. And what's interesting, this is the first time we're having people not even asking, no one has asked for a single ticket. Everyone has asked for either a pair of tickets or a table. So the excitement is brewing, it's bubbling. We're in the height of the media campaign, and I am honored to be honoring these two amazing women who have done so much for Trinidad and Tobago. We have ticket outlets in South. We have Joel de Souza on Independence Avenue, and we have Monarchs on the Avenue in Port of Spain. They can also contact Char-we at 269-3567. That's 269-3567 for further information, for tickets, even to join the organization. We are on social media, CWHETNT. That's our Facebook page. Feel free to inbox any of the directors. And it will be remiss of me to not acknowledge my directors who are doing the work behind the scenes. You will see some of them on other interviews leading up to the day as well. So our attorney at law, Kevin Ratiram, directors Oslin Williams, Annalene Cummins, Sherry Ali, Akola Ashby from Tobago. We have a director in Tobago as well. And we are all just working feverishly to continue the mandate that we've started.
And with that, the way that you have that information flowing, I want to ask some from you, please, Superintendent, because sometimes we may just say the special victims unit, but there's that overarching term, the 3 units under it. Give us some information about that, please, and thanks.
Right. Well, the Special Victims Department, not unit, department,
See what I mean?
SPD. This unit amalgamated the Child Protection Unit, the Gender-Based Violence Unit, and the Sexual Offences Unit. And these units, there are 10 policing divisions, and we are not at every police station throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We are represented in the division. So we would be at a particular station in each one of the 10 policing divisions. In Tobago Division, we are based at Chauvin and Roxborough. In the Northern Division, which is in the Arima to St. Joseph up in Maracas, we actually have a unit based at the Maracas St. Joseph, as well as Maloney. We also have the Central Policing Division. We are based at Shogwanas Police Station. We have the Southern, where we are based at Oropouche and Gasparillo. Southwestern Division, we are based at Labre. We have the Western Division, where we are based at Carenage. Port of Spain, we are based at Sinclair, at the beautiful building in Sinclair. And then we also have the Northeastern Division, where we are based at Barataria. So we are represented in each one.
And in terms of that training that you spoke about, what is it? Is it how you accommodate individuals coming in to make reports? What are some of the capacity or competencies that you try to build within under your remit?
One of the most critical training that I saw from the pandemic. Now, the pandemic was a negative thing, but a lot of positives came out of the pandemic, be it the way we interact with each other. Look, we are here now. Be it some of the services that are available. And with the Special Victims Department, what we saw happening is that we were able to reach the lengths and breadths of communities. With the training, there was a particular training named your biases, knowing your biases, because traditionally, domestic violence, gender-based violence was seen as a family issue where even law enforcement and persons did not want to get involved. But I can sit here today and tell you that the police is going to get involved, and once there is evidence, persons would be charged. Victims realize now that here's what, there are avenues I can seek help, because we have conducted several outreach programs educating persons. One of the things that stood out to me is where you hear survivors say, I didn't realize, after we present, persons will come up to you, I didn't realize I was being abused all these years. Some persons will say, I didn't even know what to do, because a victim needs advocate, a victim needs persons. We have sent persons to Char-we, we have sent persons to the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, because the police, we cannot do it alone. And training is critical, because remember, police officers came from the wider part of society. So if they are not able to control or deal with their emotions and their biases, the service that they provide to the public would not be good at all. So that training is very, very critical.
Thank you so much. And Auntie Jackie, I think the last 2 minutes are yours, because going on from superintendent's perspective on biases, what are some of the biases or perspectives, perceptions that you may have had that you can change, that have changed a little bit in terms of dealing with your young people, as you call them, men or women? Is it the way that you train them? Do you train them the same way now that you would have when you started?
Originally, yes. Actually, we have some basic rules and some basic laws that we always go by. But during recent times, we did have to adjust a little bit. We did have to adjust to suit the new times, as we call it. But I have been doing this for over 50 plus years. So it means that I now have young ladies who I train their mothers and I train their grandmothers as well. But it has been a long, 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 long journey. But We do have basic rules, and we try to get them to be total people. This is what we tell them. They have to be totally together, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And that makes them a complete person. But you will always meet people saying, oh, models, why should my daughter be a model? You know, why can't she do something better than that? But no, your daughter can be a model, and she can be the model that everybody wants to be like.
And I'm so glad that you spoke about creating holistic persons, because sometimes we go to school or we go to work or we go to some sort of training and we learn how to do this particular skill so well, but then you can't deal with people because you don't know how to literally function outside of that responsibility, outside of that chore, that job. But being able to look at different things. There's some people, it's almost as though you move them from X to Y and it's like fish out of water. But holistic people, I think, is what we need to have a better society, to have a better nation. So we want to thank you for the part that you're doing, as well as you, Superintendent. So ladies, we want to thank you very much. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.